I'm going to tie a parachute hare's ear, and I'm starting off with a size 12 hook in the vise, mainly so it comes up better on camera, but you can tie these as small as you can. The thread that I'm going to use is an 8/0 black, and so I'll just go get this started on the hook shank and remove the excess, and then I'll just finish wrapping down to about the point in the hook where I can tie in my tail. And for that, I'm going to use rabbit, and this is a pelt. You've got a lot of different color choices here. That's why I like it, and a lot of volume in terms of material. So I'll select the color that I'm looking for, and I'm going to hold this at a 90-degree angle from the hide, so that when I cut it, it aligns the tips. And I'll do kind of some final preparation here by removing any that are really long, and also that under fur, so it doesn't add any additional bulk to the pattern. So when I'm pleased with that, I'll just trim up the ends here, give me a good tie-in point, and I'll measure it out to be maybe a little bit less than a hook shank in length, and I'll tie that down to about the point in the hook, or the barb of the hook. I can tie in my rib material, and for this I'm going to use a gold oval tinsel, and as I tie these smaller I'll transition to wire, but for this size I like this material, so I'm going to tie that in on top, and then I'm going to bring it back up to about the 2/3 mark, and I can tie in my post. Again, a lot of choices here for post material. You can use foam, you can use calf. I like to use Antron yarn in this particular case. So I'll clip it, and all that I'm going to do here is just bend it, double it over the thread, and position it where I want, and I can start to take my wraps here to create the post. So all that I'm doing is circling it, and then every so often I'll come back and anchor that, and then I'll go up a little bit higher each time until I got the height that I'm looking for. And a couple of things will dictate how high up you go on your post. The material that you're going to tie under it, so you want to make sure the post clears the material that you're using, and then also how much hackle you want to use. So if you're going to really heavily hackle your post, then you want to make sure you're tying enough. And I'll just take a rough cut there, and now I can come back through and start to dub my body. So I'm going to leave this at about the midway point between the post and the tail, and I'm going to apply some dubbing wax here. I'm going to use a hare's mask for my dubbing, so I'll take a clump off, and just get that started on the thread here. And then I can start to make my wraps. Every so often I'll give it an extra twist just to keep it compact. I'm going to wrap this all the way to the post. Making sure I cover underneath it as well. So now I can bring my rib through. So just nice even wraps here. And I'm going to tie this off on the front, but all of that's going to be covered up by dubbing. So I'll tie that off, bring my thread back, and now I can also tie in my hackle to the front side of this. And for that, I'm going to use a dun and so you can also use grizzly as well. So I'll take off a piece that's appropriate, and I'll clean up this under, and then I'll expose the stem, give me a good tie-in point, and I'll tie that into the front. And then I'll come back through and apply just a little bit more dubbing here, and another pinch of Hare's mask to finish it out. And I'll just finish that thorax. And then I'll bring my thread to where I'm going to tie in my post. So you notice I left plenty of room here at the eye. Now I can start to wrap my post. And again, starting from the bottom and just kind of working my way up, and then I'll take maybe one more wrap down through everything, and when I've got enough hackle, I'll pull it straight down and then cut underneath. I'll do that a couple of times here, and then I can hold everything back and finish tying this off and build a little thread head. So again, hold everything back, build out that head, and then I can whip finish. And trim the excess. And now you can readjust the post if you find that your hackle has shifted up. One thing that you can do with this Antron is you can just pull it in half there, and that'll help it seat a little bit better. So I'm just setting this up how I want it. I can take my final cut here. I'll take a drop of head cement, and it's finished. So that is a parachute hare's ear.